So, what made you join this project? What excited you in this film?
What attracted me?
Yeah.
A lot of things. I really liked the musical elements. I thought I would start out in musical theater rather than film and television. And so this was something that sort of came naturally to me, which was acting and singing together. I also really loved Kenny Ortega's work, and I really wanted to know what it was like to work under him. And there were just so many things too. You know, Mal is one of the best written characters I've ever stumbled upon, so I really wanted the opportunity to do anything with her.
Okay. Kenny Ortega so is famous for being the man behind High School Musical. And how did it feel working with him?
I did not know he was attached to the film at first, and so when I walked in and I'd memorized all my lines, and I even wore a wig to the audition, which is crazy, it's unheard of. But I remember I walked in and I felt so confident because I looked like the part and I knew all the words, and I thought, even if I don't get this, it'll be fine because these people all know me and it won't be embarrassing. But then I walked in and Kenny Ortega was sitting there in his fabulous fedora, and I was like, you can't not tell me that! And I remember like being like, I'm gonna faint, I'm gonna go into convulsions, and I'm not gonna remember any of my lines. Thankfully I did. I guess I worked well under pressure one time. But he's the kindest man, like just abnormally kind. And he's very intelligent, and I always say, to understand what his work is like as someone who has worked with him and who has watched his films her whole life, if you were to be sitting in a room and you watched 10 films in a row, and 3 of them were his movies, you would instantly be able to tell which ones they were, because he has this sort of golden glow about him as a person, and it comes through in his work.
Do you have some similarities with your character? Reckless, of course.
What was the last part?
Well, without weakness.
Yeah. I think I would be lying if I said that I didn't have similarities with any of my characters. You know, I think that sort of, I mean, you know, acting is just like any other job in the sense that, you know, the best scientist for the project is going to get it because it's the ideas that come from his mind that are going to help the company. You know, the person who's going to get the part is, you know, they have to look right, of course. They have to be the right age. But I honestly think the biggest part of being an actor is being your own true self within the character, because that's the only thing that can't be mimicked or copied. So I always bring a huge element of myself into the characters, and so I naturally have just tons in common with them. But on paper I had a lot in common with Mal as well, just sort of in the sense of feeling like I didn't know who I was, and feeling very desperate to find who that person was, and, you know, being in a leadership position, but also maybe being a little bit afraid to be vulnerable when I was younger. And sort of as I was learning to be Mal, I was also learning how to be myself. So it was a nice sort of mirror image for me.
Okay. As we know, you are a really good singer.
Thank you.
And yet you only have one solo act in the movie. Were you hoping the movie be more musical?
You mean, do you think I would have liked the movie to have been more musical?
Yeah.
No, because I think that musicals have their place, and I am a huge musical fan. I grew up watching musical theater equally or more than film. I am a musical theater girl, born and raised. But I do get a little sick of the formula of like more music than talking, especially for a film. I think for a film, in order to reach a broader audience, sometimes it's nicer to have an equal split of music and speaking, because I think that it really furthers the story along more rather than just throwing music in for the sake of throwing music in. I think it was artfully done, and I think everything that they chose had its purpose and had its place in the film and made sense.
The ending is open to sequel. Can you tell us more?
I know nothing about a sequel.
You know nothing?
I know, and I know I say it with a sly smile, and so it makes it seem like maybe I do, but I really don't. And it's funny because people keep coming to me who were in the movie, and they're like, "Do you know anything?" I'm like, "No, do you know anything?" And they're like, "No." So none of us know anything, and it could very well be that that was the beginning and the end of Descendants, and it could very well be that we'll do 400 more. And so, you know, we'll just have to stay tuned, just like the fans.
Okay. What's your plans on the promo tour for this movie over? After this movie?
What are my plans?
Yeah.
Well, like I said, I would like to do 400 more of the Descendants movies because I had the time of my life. But also, I'm in the middle of shooting a series called Liv and Maddie.
Yeah.
We are in the middle of shooting season 3 back in the U.S. So that, that takes up 5 days a week for me. So I can't really be doing anything else while I do the series. But after that, a couple of projects coming up. Obviously, can't talk about it. But I also do have my band coming up. Which is with my boyfriend, Ryan McCartan, and we're called The Girl and the Dreamcatcher, and we have our very first single coming out October 2nd, and that's going to be called Written in the Stars.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and we have some live performances and music videos coming up from that too.
Okay. And last question. Would you be kind to say something in French for your friends?
Je t'aime, bisous, bisous. I love you so much. You mean the world to me. I love my French fans. I feel very connected to them.
Thank you. And last, can you sing something?
Can I sing something?
Yeah.
Sure. What do you want me to sing?
I don't know.
Would you sing with me?
Oh no.
What? That's not
me.
fair. Let's harmonize together. Ready? Mary had a little lamb. You're not harmonizing with me.
I don't know. I don't know sing.
It's okay. We'll make a band together. It'll all be good. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.